This is Kevin F. Pope with the Pope's Perspective, and my thoughts on Shazam. Shazam is the story of Billy Batson, who is a kid who becomes a superhero when he says the word Shazam. I know he doesn't do that in the movie, but every time I want to say Shazam, I just want to do something. I'm weird, I'm just going to go with it. Shazam. This is like every little kid's dream. I mean, how many of us as kids, for one, I used to go around the house in a cape and pretend that I was Superman. So can you just, for a kid to actually become a superhero, it's a really cool idea. And Zachary Levi, such perfect casting. Such a fun character. The energy he puts into it, and you actually do believe that this guy is a kid because of his performance. It's so good. And I remember when I was seeing the trailers for the film, there were times where I was thinking, I'm like, I'm not sure if this is the same kid that I'm seeing in the film when he becomes a superhero. But as the film as a whole, when you watch the film, like, yes, this is the same kid, and it's so well done. Billy is a foster kid. You find out in a flashback that he was lost from his mother, and so he's been trying to find his mother, and he ends up, and so he's in different foster homes, and he ends up in this home with other foster kids, and the kids were all, each kid has their own distinct little personality. Let me tell you, Darla is going to just melt your heart. That little girl, every time she speaks, is so adorable. She is going to melt your heart. The main relationship comes with Billy and Freddie, and Freddie knows his stuff about superheroes. He's like really big on superheroes. So when he finds out that Billy has become a superhero, he's just like, oh, this is so cool. Let's see what you can do. Let's test out the superhero stuff. And so they get some camaraderie there, and there's some fun stuff that comes there. And later on in the film, the relationship is tested because it's great stuff. It's great stuff. The kids in this film were all really good, really fun to watch. It was just, this film was a delight. Okay, I will say with the villain, it did feel like with the 7 deadly sins it was a big contrast in some of the more darker elements. So there is some dark stuff in that. So for young kids, the 7 deadly sins may be scary, and it's very contrast to a lot of the comic lighthearted stuff in this film. And so I was fine with the villain. I didn't think like, oh, this is a terrible villain. I hate this, another weak sauce villain. The villain worked fine for the film. I can say I absolutely love the villain, best villain ever. But I didn't hate the villain, so I was fine with the villain. They gave some backstory on the villain and why he's pretty much out to prove himself, to see that I am worthy, and he's obviously not worthy. This is a bad guy, and he wants to do terrible things. But this film was just fun from start to finish.